I got some good news and some bad news.
Hit me with the good news.
Sonic 3 and Knuckles is one of the best games ever made.
Awesome! What's the bad news?
It was made in such a way that it'll probably never be re-released in its original form ever again.
What happened?
This one's more of a case of what didn't happen.
Guess I better lock in.
Yeah, this one's a doozy. Sega is in an amazing position. They're neck and neck with Nintendo as the Genesis and the SNES duke it out during the early 90s. Thanks in no part to Sonic. Sonic 1 and Sonic 2 were bestsellers, and Sonic CD was the only real reason to own a Sega CD outside of a few cult classics. He had a television show, and the merch was really starting to flow. What could possibly go wrong?
It's the merch. The merch is going to ruin everything.
Well, it's not gonna help, but we'll get there. In either case, Sonic was popular, and Sega was ready to take advantage of that. Sonic started appearing on other Sega platforms and got a slew of spin-off titles to boot. Most of them were utter shit, but by 1993 they were running the streets. Elsewhere, the Institute was going through a transitional period. The bulk of the Japanese side of the team returned to home except for Yasuhara and Naka. The two had some ideas for the third game and stayed in the US to brainstorm. Later, Naka returns to Sega Japan to touch bases with the higher-ups in the company. He told them that he had some ideas for the third game, and that going back to the States would be the best environment for him to get the job done. Naka and Yasuhara decided to take a different approach to making Sonic 3 by building a team of all Japanese designers. Despite being short on manpower, Sega managed to send over guys to help them out. Among that group was Takashi Iizuka.
Hey, I know that guy.
Shit, you better. He's your boss now. Development of Sonic 3 started in January of 1993 at the Sega Technical Institute in a separate section of the building away from the American teams.
Wow, that's a complete 180 of what happened the last game. Maybe the Tails controversy was a bigger issue than we thought?
They say the American team was more upset than angry, but I couldn't imagine the vibes being like they were before. So Naka got his team and had Sega's blessing. Now he can start work on making the first 3D Sonic game.
3D? Here? In 1993? Impossible!
Actually, there was a precedent for early 3D as far back as 1980, but most gave the illusion of 3D and didn't make use of a Z-axis. Polygons didn't start being a thing until you guys put out Virtual Racing last year.
How come I've never heard of that?
You were probably doing promotions for Sonic 2. How the fuck do I know your schedule better than you? Anyway, Nintendo will have their crack at it a bit later too, meaning 3D was not off the table. They're planning on using the Sega Virtual Processor chip that they used in Virtual Racing to render the polygons they needed. They came up with some mock-ups and some tests with Sonic running around a spherical grid. Initial results looked promising, but after months of experimentation, they couldn't get it to a level that they would be comfortable with. That and issues around the cost of the chip and the flip-flopping of the release date made it obvious they needed to switch back to 2D. It wouldn't be a total waste, as the concept would be reused for the special stages. Development continued on Sonic 3. The team wanted to make the game bigger with a deeper story to boot. Between the numerous playtests, brainstorming, and reviving unused concepts from the last game, Sonic 3's development started to balloon. The zones were going to be bigger with set pieces to tie everything together. When it was all said and done, we were looking about 10 zones that would need a 24 megabit cartridge, and that was just in the alpha stages. 24 megabits was a big ask at the time, but the team was assured that the solution to the storage problems would be found out.
Oh no!
Yeah. Several tricks would be used to give the look of the game more depth. Extra layers, some more shading, and some light 3D rendering for a few extra effects. They even reworked Sonic sprites to give them a more 3D look. The most important change in the Sonic formula was the introduction of a new rival. There was extensive focus testing, and eventually in America it got narrowed down to 8 candidates, and the most popular one had dreadlocks. This led to a contest within STI to come up with something based off of that. After a month and about 100 or so designs, the winning design was a character named Knuckles by Takashi Yuta. More meetings occurred to refine his design even more, including the ability to climb walls. They designed Knuckles to contrast Sonic in many ways, from his attitude to his red fur and quills. Even the white mark on his chest has some thought into it. It represents the moon while Sonic's belly represents the sun.
Whoa, no shit.
When did you get here?
I think he slipped in during the Polygon talk.
I wasn't expecting you until we got to Chaotix, but I'm glad you're here with us.
Well, no harm in chilling for a while.
Things were going smoothly over at Sonic Team, but that just means something hasn't happened to fuck everything up yet. The Sonic Tuesday campaign was a major success, and they wanted Sonic 3 to be out during the holidays, but development was taking longer than expected, and they needed more time. Management tasked STI American staff to make a smaller game to make up for it, but that's a story for a later episode. The bigger issue was the massive 2 billion yen promotional tie-in campaign with McDonald's starting next year.
The merch.
Yep, the merch. Even worse, the game would require a 32 megabit cart with VRAM, which was expensive as hell at the time, so Sonic 3 would be split into 2 games. The first half would be released in time for the promotion. Knuckles was saved for the second half as he was the major selling point, so to make up for that, a 2-player mode was implemented. Some zones got swapped around, and what we got is what we now know as Sonic 3. As for the second half, they needed to come up with a way to put the cartridges together for the complete experience. Thus, the lock-on cartridge was made. You put Sonic 3 on top of the inside of Sonic and Knuckles, and then you have yourself the complete experience. You could also get other things too when you lock on Sonic and Knuckles to Sonic 1 and Sonic 2. Like the ability to play as Knuckles in Sonic the Hedgehog 2, or more of these bonus levels that we'll talk about later. Another major part of the development was the game's soundtrack. Masato Nakamura had gotten very successful during the 90s, and the royalties Sega had to pay for him became extensive. So they decided to make the music in-house, but with some help from an unexpected friend.
Annie, are you okay? Annie, are you okay? Are you okay, Annie? Annie, are you okay? Annie, are you okay? Are you okay, Annie? You've been hit by, you've been strapped tight, a smooth criminal.
Sega collaborated with MJ on Moonwalker. He was a big fan of Sega, and he collaborated with them on other projects too. The way the story goes is either Michael was approached by Sega to do the music for Sonic 3, or he volunteered to do it. Either way, Michael got his keyboardist and tour director to help with the project, with a handful of other musicians to develop the tracks for Sonic 3. Sadly, this amazing opportunity will complicate the project even more. Alright, I'm going to attempt to try and explain why Sonic 3's OST is in a fucked up state of limbo. There are multiple perspectives going on, and nobody thought to ask Michael Jackson this shit when he was alive, so we may never get a full idea of what actually happened. The story goes that MJ left the project to continue his Dangerous World tour. Goated album, by the way. Might be better than Thriller, maybe? And left most of the work to be handled by Brad Buxer, who said MJ only worked on one track out of the 40 or so. Then there's the elephant in the room. This is around the time the child abuse allegations were kicking off. Buxer said that Sega didn't pull the plug on the project and finish the soundtrack around the middle of '93. People on Sega's end say that Michael's involvement was terminated when the allegations surfaced. The project was too far in development to remove music that had already been approved and implemented, so they rearranged some of the music and let it ride. That duty went to Howard Drawson from STI. He expected to work with Michael on music for the game, but he ended up being the main composer for Sonic and Knuckles. In either case, Michael has never been directly credited for working on Sonic 3, and even that part gets debated to this day as to why. Like, Buxer's camp says it's because Michael wasn't impressed with the Genesis sound chip and didn't want to put his name on something he felt was subpar, but their contributions still made it in the game, with Carnival Night and Ice Cap Zones being the most likely candidates. Higher-ups at Sega says that no formal arrangement between Sega and Michael were made and that there was no knowledge of it. Naoto Oshima allegedly heard a demo tape MJ sent to Sega but couldn't use it because of the allegations going on. Naka and others are tight-lipped on the matter due to confidentiality. Then you have Roger Hector saying that all the music was made from scratch and nobody outside STI heard Michael's tracks. It's a fucking mess. The kicker is that Sonic 3 and Knuckles rarely got re-releases post-2009, after Michael Jackson died, with some speculation that it's legal issues tied to his estate. So either they didn't re-release it or they used the music from the 1993 prototype. And the prototype music doesn't hit quite the same as the originals. I mean, listen to this. Yeah, that ain't it.
No, wait. I think they're cooking. They just burned the kitchen.
There's not much to talk about. Sonic 3 made its February release date, and Sonic and Knuckles came out a few months later. So let's switch up gears and talk about the game itself. The story of Sonic 3 and Knuckles picks up right after Sonic 2. The Death Egg crashes into Angel Island. Angel Island is a floating island that is home to the Master Emerald. This emerald has power over the Chaos Emeralds and keeps Angel Island afloat. When the crash happens, it alerts the Guardian of Angel Island, Knuckles, to Eggman's presence. Eggman detects a signal from the Master Emerald and runs into Knuckles. Eggman convinces him that Sonic and Tails are the bad guys and are out to steal the emerald. Knuckles falls for Eggman's lie and joins forces with him to stop Sonic. Meanwhile, Sonic and Tails head to Angel Island following the same signal Eggman got, and as soon as they touch down, boom, Knuckles knocks Sonic out of his super transformation. How the fuck does that even work?
Maybe I ran out of rings just as Knuckles ambushes me?
Or maybe I'm just built different.
Yeah, like an improper fraction.
What?
Alright. Knuckles knocks down Sonic and steals the emeralds. Now it's up to Sonic and Tails to deal with Knuckles while getting back the emeralds and beating Eggman. There's more going on this time, but it's not overly complicated. Let's talk about the gameplay. Nothing's changed really. It's 2-act zones just like in Sonic 2, and at the end of each act there's a boss fight. Each zone has some kind of traversal gimmick you use to progress. Most are straightforward, and one is Carnival Night Zone, which we'll save for later. One new feature is Sonic's Insta-Shield move, which gives him temporary invincibility when pressing jump while in mid-air. It can reflect projectiles when timed properly, and it gives you some cool moves to use when wearing one of those new elemental shields. Another new feature is the bonus stages where you can get extra rings, lives, or shields to use when you exit one of them. There are 3 different ones with their own gimmicks. I think I like the Gumball one the best, but that's mostly because of the music. You access them the same way you do the special stages in Sonic 2. Get enough rings and jump through the ring of stars floating above the star post. As for the special stages, you'll find these giant rings hidden throughout each zone that you jump through, and it transports you to another pseudo 3D area like the last couple of games.
I can't recall if these sucked like the ones in the last game.
It's okay, but it takes some time to get used to. Blue Spear is the name of the game of the special stages for Sonic and Knuckles. You walk around on a giant grid with a bunch of spears around. The blue ones are the ones to go after as you win the emerald once you get all the blue ones. The red ones are bad and trigger a game over as soon as you touch one. Then you have the white spears with the red stars on top. These bounce you around like a spring in the regular zones. Generally, you want to avoid those too as they can easily disorient you, but sometimes you need them to reach the blue spears across the map. It sounds easy, but anytime you get a blue spear, it turns red, giving you less room to groove. Then there are the controls. Sonic runs automatically. You can turn him in any of the 4 directions, but once you push forward, he stays in motion until you clear the stage or fail. It doesn't seem that bad, but Sonic has no impulse control and he'll just start speeding the fuck up the longer you remain in the zone.
Hey!
The trick is to get all the blue spears surrounding an area. If you do that, it turns everything in the center into rings, and you don't have to collect them if you don't want to. It starts out simple enough, but it gets real hard real fast. Of the special zones, it's the least shit. The biggest addition is the inclusion of Knuckles as a playable character, who has a lot of the same moves as Sonic, but he has some moves of his own.
I can glide in the air and climb walls. Oh, and I can punch through walls too.
Yeah, the glide and climb thing is fine and all, but I have you beaten every other category. Face it, compared to me, you're washed, Nux.
Bruv, I smashed those emeralds out of you like a looter in a riot. You can't tell me nothing.
That's cap.
Because it's Knuckles, there are some stages and areas you can't access, like Sonic and Tails, so playing through the games as Knuckles will give you a different experience altogether. That does it for the gameplay. Now I give the floor to the Blue Blur.
Oh yeah, hit my music.
What the hell was that, bruv?
My theme for my section of my anthology.
Lame.
Angel Island Zone. It's a grassy tropical level. Big surprise there. But you know the loops and ramps? There's this zip line that pops up to get you from point A to point B. It's the first zone. At this point, you know what it is.
Wait, is that Eggman? Holy shit.
This is the first of a bunch of sub-bosses in Sonic 3. This machine is called Fire Breath, and it lives up to its name.
No! My hydrangeas!
After you beat that, it's on to the second act, which is still on fire.
It's only the first level and shit's already popping off.
If you think that's wild, get a load of this airship dropping bombs on us.
Yeah, things will only get crazier from here.
In this zone, you fight the Egg Scorcher Mark III. It's somewhat famous as it's the only Eggman machine to grace the front cover of a game. Just like the other Scorchers, it shoots fire at you, but it occasionally dips behind the waterfall where you can't hit him. Just wait it out and you'll win in no time. I give Angel Island Zone 5 gold plates out of 5. Another banger of a first zone.
How's this for a banger?
Hydrocity Zone.
It's hydrocity.
What?
Nah, you must be capping right now. Do you honestly believe that's how you would say that shit?
Yeah, it's how it's spelled in the game. It's one single word. Yeah, so is foresight, but we don't say foresight because it's one word. It's a water level and you go fast. Hydrocity.
The only time you go fast is when you're outside the water, so I can't quite agree with that. It's not like the water increases our speed, but we're getting sidetracked, so let's just continue.
Hydrocity is a water level, so that's an automatic point deduction right off the bat.
Damn, really? Water levels have improved since Labyrinth Zone. It's like a 60-40 split between being above water or in water.
Fine, I'll give it a bonus point for the hand grabber things that give you a speed boost. The sub-boss is the Big Shaker. It's a ball with rockets spinning around it that'll occasionally attach itself to a turbine in the center that spins the water around. You know the deal, wait until it stops and hit it till it explodes. After that, you get sucked into a corridor that's slowly trying to crush you. That'll spit you out to the next area for the act proper.
Let me guess, more ramps and water?
Of course! In this zone, you fight the Egg Vortex. Eggman uses his propeller on the machine to whip up a vortex of water that you must use to reach Eggman to hit him. You can also get up there by using the depth charges he leaves behind.
Or you can just transform and bum rush him like we did.
Yeah, by the time we got to Hydrocity, we had all the Chaos Emeralds, so we dog-walked as many bosses as we could. I give Hydrocity 4 gold plates out of 5. The bonus point saved it from a 3 instead. Marble Garden Zone.
It's a ruin with a bunch of traps and hilly terrain. It's kinda hard to get around here. Yeah, there's a lot of verticality to account for here. Those spinning tops can help you climb the hills quicker, or rack up the kills quicker. This thing will only crash as soon as you hit something sturdy. The sub-boss here is the Tunnel Bot. It shows up earlier in the zone where you can get a couple of quick hits in before the full match. He's just a repeat of what Eggman had in Mystic Cave. Eggman sure likes to recycle his weapons a lot. Tell me about it. Act 2 is more of the same, except Eggman shows up and starts drilling up the land. When you finally catch up to him, he drills into the base of the ruins and the whole thing collapses. Holy shit. Now it's an aerial fight between you and Eggman's Egg Drillster Mark II. Another upgrade? I want to call him a lazy fuck, but this boss fight is kinda interesting. Tails is putting in work as he keeps you airborne while you fight Eggman as he dips and dives with his machine. It's all about picking the right angles and times to get your hits in as you secure a victory. I give Marble Garden Zone 3 gold plates out of 5. It's a neat concept, but hard to really get around sometimes. Carnival Night Zone. It's casino night without the slot machines. You'll still get bumped around, but the same basic concept remains. Except for these things. Ah yes, the spinning wheels, or the spinning barrel of doom as most call it. You press up and down on one of them to get high enough to boost yourself up to the rest of the zone. It's common knowledge now, but who knows how cryptic it was back in the day. Does the manual say anything? Well, there's no mention of it in either the Japanese or US version of the manual. Ditto for the European version too. Kinda weird considering all the other traversal gimmicks in the other levels just work when you automatically moved forward or ran into them. The sub-boss here is the bowling spin. It's a funky machine that shoots a spiked top that bounces around the arena that you can hit the bottom of to knock it into the machine to damage it. Oh great, you can't damage it directly and it destroys the platforms you're on, like Spring Yard Zone. Yeah, no, I'ma transform and take it out from there. Works for me. Act 2 is like 1, but darker thanks to Knucklehead over here. Don't you mean Knucklehead? It's only one word. Oh my god! Eggman's machine looks odd here. That's the Egg Graviton. He uses the orb to shoot off an electric current between the generator and his machine. It can draw you in and zap you if you aren't careful. Just hit him when he goes up for his orb and he's toast. I give Carnival Night 3 goalposts out of 5. Ice Cap Zone. It's the first snow level ever in a Sonic game, and we start off with a bit of snowboarding. What a cool way to start a level. Ooh, what if it was a hoverboard? You start the level proper and it's snow, ice, and spiky icicles. What more could you want? The first act takes place in an ice cavern. I don't think it's slippery like other ice levels in other games. That's pretty rare for a platformer. In the first fight, you fight the big Ice Deuce. Ice Deuce? It must be Greek for swirly ice shield because that's all it does. Moving on, Act 2 puts you outside and the atmosphere is absolutely stunning. More ice and snow lead you to more ice against Eggman's Egg Froster. And it's probably his lamest machine as it just shoots out air that freezes you on contact. Honestly, Ice Deuce has a better gimmick. Agreed. I give Ice Cap Zone 5 gold plates out of 5. This shows up in a different form in a later game, but that's a topic for later. I'm glad this theme became more common later. Launch Base Zone. We arrive at the launch pad of the Death Egg, and not a moment too soon as Eggman is putting in some last minute adjustments to his space station. Like most factory/laboratory themed stages, there's traps and machinery up the wazoo. Hey, as long as we don't get a third act, I'm Gucci. Yeah, no worries there. The fact that this takes place outside probably cuts down on the closed-in feel of it all. The sub-boss here is Twin Hammer, a floating orb of a pair of spinning spike balls spinning around it. Every fucking boss is a ball with shit spinning around it. I take it back, Eggman is a lazy fuck. Act 2 takes us further into the base. It's all business as usual until you make it to Eggman's Egg Cannon. It shoots cannonballs from the top and bottom of the hatch on the other side of the screen. Dodge the balls and climb up the platform to hit Eggman until you win. That's kind of a weak note to go out on. Oh, shit. He left behind his Eggmobile. You mean my Eggmobile. It's kind of slow, ain't it? Sorry, but this is a no-fly zone. Oh! No fly means you too, knucklehead. I guess we're in for a boss gauntlet. If the last game had one, why not have one here? This is the Egg Rocket. Sick name. It's a 3-tiered rocket with lasers shooting out the sides of it. Let me guess, the only part you can hit is the cockpit, and each section breaks off as you do damage to it. Yeah, and there's a weird ball hovering around the top of it that hurts, so watch out for that. Hit him 8 times and you win. Why does it look like the zone isn't finished yet? Huh? Oh! Oh! Big Arms is the name of this machine in this gauntlet of madness. And it uses those arms to punch, grab, and throw you any chance it gets. The spikes on top mean you gotta aim your attacks carefully. It's not as bad as the last time, though. Once you trash this machine, the damage from the battle takes its toll on the platform and the Death Egg crashes back down to Angel Island, kicking off the second half of the journey. I give Launch Base 3 gold plates out of 5. This is where the Sonic 3 part of the game ends, and it's kinda wild to me that it has just as many zones as the first game. What's even crazier is the fact that these are 2-act zones, so it feels even shorter than that. Yeah, if people didn't buy the lock-on cartridge, they were getting seriously boned for content. Well, either by hook or by crook, Sega got his second half out there, so let's see how that all shakes out. Mushroom Hill Zone. This is the first level of Sonic & Knuckles, if you just play the game by itself. It's an odd choice for a first level, but technically it isn't when it's locked on to Sonic 3, so there's that. Maybe having 2 kind of tropical, hilly zones in a Sonic game was a bridge too far. I for one think it could stand to hit up some different biomes here and there. Just look at the big-ass mushrooms. They're useful for getting around. Maybe that plumber was onto something. Anyway, it's not long before we run into Knuckles, who's fooling around with a secret door. Ooh, I wonder what's inside. Trespassing is a crime, you know. So is assault. You think they'll make us share a cell? Ugh. This pathway leads you to a giant ring that'll take you to the chamber of the Master Emerald, while you'll lose your Chaos Emeralds for a shot at getting to use the large emeralds surrounding the Master Emerald. That means you have 7 more Blue Spirit levels to play for your enjoyment. I don't know what the deal is with the Super Emerald stages. Overall, I had less issues with these stages than the original ones. Yeah, they had their hard spots, but I had gotten all of them with fewer tries than the original 7. Once again, if you know where to go, you could have them all by the time you leave Mushroom Hill. Besides that, there's not much to Mushroom Hill. You fight a lumberjack robot called Hey Ho as he chops logs at you. And then it's off to Act 2, where the scenery drastically changes. There's still mushrooms, vines, and whatever this annoying thing is. And you make your way to the second boss, the Egg Scrambler. Well, it took him a couple dozen machines before he used an actual egg pun. That's some restraint. Either that or Egg Scorcher Mark IV wasn't ready yet. As for the fight itself, you just chase after Eggman and attack him while dodging all the spike balls in the middle of the path. Not much to say there. I give Mushroom Hill 4 gold plates out of 5. Flying Battery Zone. If you thought Wing Fortress was impressive, just wait till you get a load of this thing. Where does Eggman find the time to build these airships? Besides the Death Egg, there's Wing Fortress and this fucking thing. Oh, and that blimp from earlier. Trust me, there's much more to come. This zone feels like a Valkyrie level to me. 80% of the time is spent inside the ship with all this crazy contraptions serving to help or hinder you as you progress. It's like Metropolis Zone. I take that back. That was a horrible thing to say. I apologize. I get where you're coming from, though. There's more than a couple of things here that give me some serious deja vu. The mid-boss here is the unfortunately named Gapsel. You can't hit it, but it can hit itself. Then it's off to Act 2 with more contraptions and a few more glimpses on the outside of the ship until you get trapped in a laser prison by Eggman. Let me guess. Hit the lens? Yeah, but it doesn't do anything. The lasers will damage the room itself once the area is hit enough times. Oh, that was way too easy. What else does Eggman have? Well, there is another machine, but we got one more problem, and that's getting to it without getting crushed to death. It's always something. Your opponent this time is the Egg Hanger. He slides around on this bar which he uses to bounce up and down trying to ram into you. More spikes and fire. I bet there will be more spikes and fire to come. Until then, I give Flying Battery Zone 5 gold plates out of 5. Sandopolis Zone. Ladies and gents, behold, the desert. Sand as far as the eye can see. Regular sand, quicksand, sand waterfalls. Sega's really going some new places out here. About time. It almost happened in the last game, but it got scrapped unfortunately. What kind of things are we going to be getting into on this zone? Lots of slopes and sand. Honestly, this zone is all about verticality. Not too many places where you're just running straight across. Look at how many times I gotta rappel down a wall. I feel you, but I still think Marble Garden has its place beat in the verticality department. The mid-boss is the Golem. This guy is unique as spin jumping does nothing to him. Well, what else does he do? He jumps. Jumps? Yeah. Quicksand? Yeah, quicksand. In Act 2, you are inside a pyramid. Another first for the series. Where there's pyramids, there's mummies. But not this time, we have ghosts. Bullshit. No, seriously, look at them. Oh fuck, they morphed. If the inside of the pyramid gets too dark, they'll get larger, more aggressive, and they'll be able to harm you. To stop them, just find one of these black switches to keep the lights on. In this zone, you fight the Egg Golem. It's a mech that combines ancient technology with the Eggmobile. And no, it doesn't shoot fire. Still has spikes though. The ancient part acts as armor, so you have to hit him once in the head to knock it back, and another time to do damage. Its only other attack is the lasers it shoots from his head. Overall, it's not too bad. I give Sandopolis 4 gold plates out of 5. Lava Reef Zone. Rocks, lava, and tight spaces really make this zone stand out. It's like Sega wanted to do Marble Zone again, but without the above ground parts. They even have the same traps. Imitation is the greatest form of flattery. One thing that didn't make it into the Marble Zone is the sub-boss heat arms. It's weird. 2 round things shoot at you and then a giant mechanized hand comes up. Hit all of them until they blow up. I don't know what else to tell you. What about the drill thing earlier? I thought we were going to fight that. It went skinny dipping in the magma. Things cool down in Act 2. Literally. The lava becomes dormant, and you enter some crystalline caves. It's quite nice. All that running around and you barely take time to enjoy the scenery. Well, I am now. This place rocks.
Oh, that's my cue.
Knuckles! Oh fuck, it's the Death Egg. Oh fuck, it's the Death Lava. Well, it was nice while it lasted. As a chase against this weird machine that's trying to blow up the very ground you walk on. It's hard to tell, but I'm certain we know who's operating it. The chase continues a while until we reach the bottom of this lava pit where we face the Egg Inferno. More fucking spikes. Yep, and it's one of those make Eggman hurt himself with his own crap type deals. Anyway, I give Lava Reef 3 gold plates out of 5. Hidden Palace Zone. It's the Hidden Palace Zone, but for real this time. It's the first official appearance of Hidden Palace Zone. In Sonic 2, you had to jump through some hoops, but here it's unavoidable. There's not much to it, honestly. It's a set piece area connecting the next zone to this one. Set piece? The only piece here is this 2-piece combo I have for your ass. Come here! Oh shit, I guess Sonic wins. That's a nice mural. Looks familiar.
I wonder what it means.
Uh-oh. What's going on?
Oh no! The Master Emerald! Well, there's only one way to find out. The fuck are you doing? Get back from my emerald!
So Eggman betrayed you. I'm shooketh.
Yeah, it's not my best moment.
Well, your heart was in the right place. The jury's still out on your brain.
I said I was sorry!
Sky Sanctuary Zone.
It's a race up to the sky to chase down old Egghead. Looks like he's sending out some reinforcements.
This might be the coolest level in the whole game. Some might even say way past cool.
I understood that reference.
Your main enemy here are those Egg Robo guys and Metal Sonic.
That's Mechasonic Mark II.
Who the hell are they?
I know who they are. These guys have been fighting me across the island. Everywhere I went, they weren't too far off.
And you never question how they all resemble Eggman?
No, because they are being led by this guy who looks like you.
You know what? Valid. Mechasonic brings back some of Eggman's greatest hits as you fight them both the same way. Eventually you go face to face with Mechasonic himself.
I've got this. I have beef with this boy.
No matter what happens, Sky Sanctuary is toast, and the race to the Death Egg is all that remains. I give Sky Sanctuary 5 gold plates out of 5. Death Egg Zone. Well, here it is. The Death Egg is back in action and is much larger than before. Act 1 places you inside the Death Egg. Yes, there's spikes. Yes, there's electrodes, and yes, there are missiles. Or you saw that by now. The new enemy here is gravity.
Yeah, you are in space. What can you do about it, honestly?
You have sections that toss you around while trying to find your way out. It's like trying to navigate a maze while spinning in a circle. Red Eye is our sub-boss here. It shoots lasers while swinging spiked bombs at you. Phase 2 is mostly the same. Moving on.
What comes next?
Act 2 puts us right outside the Death Egg, right into the vacuum of space.
We've dealt with time travel. Y'all surviving out there don't surprise me in the slightest.
The real surprise is the reverse gravity. Getting flip turned upside down wasn't on my bingo card, but hey, Death Ball is ready to start trouble in my neighborhood. Attacking it head on won't work because the bumpers that are around it will bounce you right back where you came from if you try to hit them. The trick is to use these spike machines to do damage to it by flipping the gravity in the room and time it to crash into the death ball.
So it's like Lava Reef again?
Basically, yeah.
I feel some kind of way about gravity. I just got a flashback to a crappy section I have to play later down the line. Can't wait!
I know somebody else who can't wait, and that's Eggman. The giant Eggman Robo is the final hurdle to climb in this game, and it's a doozy of a fight. First, Eggman tries to squash you with the hands of the machine. If you wait until his fingers lay flat, you can get some shots in on him before they rise again.
That can't be all there is to it.
It's not. Once you trash his fingers, Eggman chases after you while he shoots fire at you.
Alright, where are the spikes?
No spikes, but he shoots a really large laser at you using the Master Emerald he has inside the robot. In fact, it's his weak point, and it only shows up whenever you hit the machine's nose.
It looks tough, but I think you got this.
The fuck? He's still going? Oh, come on! There, I got the emerald.
And you had to blow up everything around you to do it. And this is where the game ends, unless you collected all the Chaos or Super Emeralds. But we did all that, so that means we got one more piece of business left to take care of.
Doomsday Zone. This is the final battle. Eggman managed to take the Master Emerald from the wreckage of the Death Egg, and it's up to me to save the day. There's a chase above the planet, and I'm not about to let him get away. Crap! What gives?
It's another one of those use his weapons against him type fight. You fly around dodging asteroids and bombardment and try to lead his missiles into his ship for damage.
Then it's off to the second phase, where all you have to do is just dodge his fire and ram into him since his outer shell's been destroyed. I'm in my super form, so I can't take damage from his weapons, but my rings are constantly draining, so it's a race against the clock to beat Eggman. It takes a second to get the hang of it, but once you do, it's lights out for old Egghead. I give Death Egg and Doomsday Zone 5 gold plates out of 5. It's the most epic conclusion to a platformer in this era.
That was Sonic 3 and Knuckles, a great game that stood the test of time. And you're probably wondering, how can I play this game today? Well, it's more complicated than you would think. Sonic 3 and Sonic and Knuckles got ports in one form or another every once in a while. It's on Sonic Jam on the Saturn, where you can play them separately or locked together in its original state. The same goes for a random PC port back in 1997. Then came Sonic Mega Collection, where I first experienced it back on the GameCube. It got ported to the PS2, and both systems had access to both games in either form as well. Xbox Live Arcade/Wii Virtual Console got a port of it, but only if you had both games downloaded on the same account. It showed up on the DS, albeit with some slowdown. There was a port that came out on Steam in 2011, so it hung around for a bit. The original version anyway. And by that, I mean the one with the MJ music on it. When Sega decided to make the Origins Collection, they delisted all digital ports of this original series. So if you want to play it in any form on modern hardware, you gotta do it through the Origins Collection. But it's a shame because the new music is ass compared to the old music. It's not a deal breaker, and it's just a minor blemish on an otherwise excellent collection, but if you know these melodies by heart, they are sorely missed. The Genesis Collection would be an option if the fucking console versions didn't remove the game from the list. Basically, unless you have old copies of either the carts or the compilations around, emulation is the way to go if you want to play it with the original music intact. And this leads us to a discussion about the impact this game has in the series. Honestly, it's twofold. Within the game, it is extremely important to the franchise. The introduction of Knuckles, Angel Island, and the Master Emerald do so much of the world building that it basically set the trajectory for the series from here on out. The gameplay of classic Sonic was solidified and served as the template for future efforts of various quality on either the console or handheld. But then there are the issues happening outside the game itself. The decisions of Sega management have negatively impacted the development of two games back to back. Sonic Team managed to salvage something incredible from adversity, but they don't always pull it off, and sometimes it leads to catastrophic results. The biggest factor is how part of this game's legacy will be tied to Michael Jackson, who also has a complicated legacy that some still debate to this day, as it's probably the reason why the original music is removed from the Origins Collection. Despite all that, I enjoyed my time with this game.
Glad to hear it.
Hey! That's all for this episode. Turn in next time for something completely different.